disarmed now. You eye the captain. If you want my weapons, then you can come and get them. The captain and his guard advance carefully. As the captain gets close, he thrusts his tip dangerously close to your midsection. In a flash, you draw your curved left-hand blade and strike his weapon just behind the iron tip. The shock of the blow yanks the spear out of his hand and falls to the hard-packed dirt with a thud. Oh, we have some skill. You have no intention of getting into a sword fight. Instead, you're already in motion, fading back into the underbrush that surrounds the cavern. Behind you, hear the captain and the guards fan out in pursuit. You know this brush. You have been sneaking around here over the last few days. You set traps to warn you of enemies from the outside. Since nothing has come, you were afraid your preparation would go to waste. But now it looks like they will serve as a teaching aid. Plus, you always like to trust your work. Oh, that would be really fun. You blend into. There's a lack of choices here so far. But maybe, I mean, then again, there have been chapters where there's like 3 or 4 pages of reading first. Morale increases 1. You blend into a thick hedge of shrubs, camouflaging yourself. The guards are fanning out behind you in a skirmish line, searching the underbrush with their spears. They may be able fighters, but they clearly don't understand how to track prey. As they grow closer to your position, it's a simple matter to slip out of the cover and silently circle behind their line. These men are arrogant, you think. Do they think any one of them could take you on by himself? You smile. You gather up a few small pebbles and start tossing them one by one at the nearest guards. One of the stone wraps off the top of his head. He whirls and spots you across a small clearing in the trees. With a snarl, he advances on you at a jog with his spear at the ready position. Smile warmly as he approaches, knowing he is only steps away from the deadfall trap that you had prepared. Short lengths of wire snarl around his ankle, sending him sprawling to the ground face first. The guard scrambled to flip over and examine his newly entangled feet, only to catch a glimpse of a heavy branch that you set as a swinging lever. The second part of the trap, his jaw drops, perhaps to scream, as the 2-meter-long branch swings down and smacks him directly in the face. Holy shit. You approach the guard, prod him with one foot. He's out cold. You'll likely wake with a spectacular black eye. Hopefully it will serve as a good reminder of his carelessness. It's hard to get the timing right on the second part of the trap, so you allow yourself a moment to appreciate your handiwork. Oh, I thought at first it was like one of those traps where you like fall down, your foot is attached, then the branch would go down and you will get pulled up in the classic trap sense. Or I thought it was one of those log traps where the log like pull comes in and hits you in the face. But that would just kill him. So this is just a simple trap with like a branch to hit someone in the head and knock them out. Very cool. I've never seen a trap like that actually using like that. I have seen the one that pulls up. I've seen the one with the log. I've never seen one with the branch that's just supposed to knock you out. It's hard to get the time. Yeah. Last time the branch hit your victim in the throat and almost killed him. What was that? Shouts one of the guards from nearby. Alert, you fade back into the trees again, moving silently through the underbrush. You position yourself carefully and rustle the branches next to you. Second guard in the line soon shows up. Once he spots you, charges with his scimitar, ready to strike. A fallen log blocks the most direct path to you, but he bounds over it in a single leap. Unfortunately for him, I see what he is about to do. So he, there's a log in between, right? So obviously you're gonna jump over it. You're not gonna step on it and just check around with it. So you make a trap right, next to the log on the other side where that person will jump. So obviously gonna jump right into it. That is hilarious. Unfortunately for him, he didn't see the pit that you dug on the other side, hiding underneath an arrangement of leafy sticks. The sticks snap under his weight as he plunges into the hole with a yelp. You walk to the rim of the pit and collect the sword he dropped. The guard sits at the bottom, clutching his ankle. It could have been worse, you say, plunging his sword into the soil. I could have added spikes. You've taken 2 guards down. Now only the captain remains. You hear him moving purposely through the trees as you crouch low and move in on his trail. When he comes into view, you see that he's clutching his spear, as if he knows that his guards cannot help him now. It's true, a predator is stalking him. You suddenly creep closer, keeping just behind the captain. Captain, you whisper, and then duck behind a tree. I'm waiting for you. Come out and face me, damn you, he screams. Very well, you say as you step out from your hiding place. You're holding a bow in your hand with an arrow notch and ready, yet you should not expect the enemy to be so accommodating, right? Yeah, what is he gonna do? Like, he has a spear, and though we came out, we literally have a bow aimed at him, so we can literally kill him any second. "Where are my men?" he demands. "Safe, waiting to be rescued as soon as you and I are finished," you say, walking closer. "Well, it's not over yet," he says, tightening his grip on the spear. "My master, Ranger Kobek, taught me a lesson long ago, Captain. You take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Only a fool would rush a notched arrow." The captain is about to reply when you release the bowstring. There is a twang, a distinctive twang and a loud thwack. The obviously frightened captain checks himself for wounds and realizes he's not shot. Instead, his arrow has split the shaft of his spear. Holy shit! How trained is this guy? Like, our guy from Wizard's Choice didn't know shit with a knife, but he had good spells at least, and he got more spells. But he had to learn the spells. And our boy from Wizard's Choice, he's okay with the sword, but he's not that good. Like, he couldn't even defeat Baron. From the fucking Rogue's Choice. And this guy, he is OP. What the hell? Like, he's the first character we have actually taken control of that is just like really good with what he does. Anyway, instead your arrow has split the shaft of his spear. He quickly drops the splintered weapon and stares at you with his eyes wide. You draw another arrow from your quiver. "Do not make me waste another arrow. These are valuable." You knock the arrow and fix him with a quizzical gaze. "You will not make me spend another arrow, will you?" The captain shakes his head. "Good, then you have earned this back," you say as you pull out a bottle of Hydra whiskey that was stolen from him during one of your stealthy camp raids. You hand him the bottle and he takes it from you with a raised eyebrow but without comment. You begin to stride towards the wagon in the distance. You will review the guard posting and sightlines as soon as we reach camp. As you approach the cavern, the sour expressions from the guard tell you that your lesson hit home. There will be resentment, but their eyes show something else, a touch of fear. That's good. Ranger Kobek used to say, "Fear can grow into respect, but disdain leads only to conflict." And he was quick to teach fear to anyone who dared to not show him the proper respect. The captain hurries to match your stride, stride for stride. When we arrive at the camp, he pants, slightly winced by your pace. "I must announce you to the master." Soon you see a tall figure with the frame of a man draped in the voluminous robes of high quality. The figure is now addressing the dwarf, but his hood is up, keeping the face concealed from the morning sun. "It looks like you won't have to," you say, nodding at the tall figure. The captain swallows hard and glances at you nervously. If the captain finds out what happened, you meet his eyes. "I have no intention of telling him as long as I can count on your prompt attention to my commands." He glances back at the gaggle of guards behind you and looks back at you as you say, "Ranger." You stride into the clearing and the tall figure turns to watch as you approach. His movements are effortless, displaying an almost liquid grace. His face, however, remains in shadow. The guard captain jogs forward and drops to one knee. "Master Vrassel," he begins. The figure in the robe raises a single hand. Silken gloves cover the long, slender fingers as he indicates for silence. Then a voice hisses out of the blackness of the hood. What happened, Captain?" You step forward and swinging your black bow and resting one end on the ground in front of you. "A test, Master Vrassel. Your captain and I wanted to assess the readiness of your guards." The hooded figure is extremely tall. Most tall men would have to step up on a stool to look the wearer in the face. The dark space inside the hood remains on you for a moment. "And what did you determine, Ranger?" You glance back at the men in arms. "Your men are loyal and brave, but we can make some changes to help ensure your safety." The robe seems to shake slightly, and you realize that the figure under the hood might be laughing. "Their loyalty was never an issue, Ranger, and I'm quite capable of." Rassel turns away and glides towards a wagon that you assume to be his before continuing, "Defending myself." Ooh, ooh, that's nice. That's nice. Like, I am so capable of defending myself. These guys are just with me because they are with me. That's all. Your instincts tell you this is true. Rassel exudes an otherworldly sense of power, perhaps a wizard. If not to ensure your safety, then why do you need so many guards? Why did the Storm Throne send me to you? Rassel gestures at the cavern. Now that you have finished showing off, I will tell you. Your cheeks flush as his jibe as he sweeps across the rock-strewn ground as his cloak billows. Though you watch carefully, you cannot discern is Rassel walking or simply floating over the ground. I mean, that would be a technique. I do believe like there's a walking technique where you walk in like a shifty manner, where like from a distance, if someone looks at you and they couldn't see your feet, it would look like you were just like gliding across the floor. Not, it's like you know how the fucking moonwalk works, but instead of going back, you just go forward, and there's a lot less of like shifting feet, more than just walking without like lifting yourself up and down. So there's no up and down movement, there's no left and right movement. You just feels like, it looks like you gliding forward. I've seen that before. Where, I cannot tell you. Where were we? Though you, yeah, it's walking or floating off the ground. These wagons all belong to me, Russell says, one languid hand gesturing as you walk. Impressive feats of engineering, you say aloud. Russell nods. I believe you have met the genius that designed them. The familiar one-legged dwarf bows deeply. Russell nods in response. Ranger, this is Grimbold Gunderhag, a dwarven inventor from the Dragonfang Mountains. I think we have been to Dragonfangs, haven't we? It might have been Viz's choice. Didn't fucking what was his name? The fucking dragon lived there. The gold dragon or whatever. No, not the gold dragon. What was his name? Swellak. I believe Swellak lived in the Dragontooth Mountains, Dragonfang Mountains, I believe. He is my property. You watch the dwarf, noting the shifting play of emotions across his face at the introduction. You sense pride, anger, and humiliation before he ultimately shakes his head ever so slightly and spits on the rocky ground. Your property, you repeat, making no attempt mask your contempt for the word. Did I misspeak? Asks Russell, clearly challenging you. Slavery is an affront to the twins, you say. All living things deserve freedom. Ah, Russell says, of course. As a ranger, you subscribe to the teachings of your nature gods. Yet do the twins not believe in a natural order? A drone bee serves his queen. The Omega Wolf is the last to eat. Naturally, Grimbold here knows his place. The wilderness is no different than the city or my cabin. There is no freedom, only roles to play. You feel your blood rising up at his sacrilege. Sacrilege, because, right. Sacrilege is a very touchy subject right now, because there's some stuff going down related to sacrilege here in India. Very unfortunate, very mob lynching, and very much people are being very violent. This is why I hate religion, dude. I just don't like religion at all. Like, I'm an atheist, right? But I'm not just an atheist. I'm also anti religious people, and not religious people, religion. I just can't, like, I understand the concept of religion. Maybe I'll make a video on this someday, but like, I just don't get, like, even in these modern times, people are so reliant on religion. Like, people would shed blood at a fucking, like that, just like that. Like, they don't care at all. Like, there's laws to, like, look into, and there are various other things. How do you just kill someone like that? It's just weird to me, man. Maybe I'll make a video on that someday, if these fucker can stop. I'm about to do some fucking sacrilegious killing, or this fucker is fucking honking outside my fucking door, but whatever. You feel your blood rising up at his sacrilege. Instinctively, your hands go to the hilts of your sword. The grip on your long sword is worn smooth from years of training, but the ornate handle of the wicked curved sword on which you now rest your left hand is another matter. It looks as new today as it did when it was forged. Time and wear have no effect on it, and dust and rust will not cling to it. The sword is named Altaban, which means the serpent. In the southern tongue, it is a family heirloom dating back to the questing band who first discovered the Storm Throne and unlocked its secret. Blade is enchanted, excretes a terrible venom. One nick from Altaban would crumple the wizard. Before you speak, the dwarf says, I have met the ranger, a bit of a showman, yet I expect he's capable. He smiles dryly at you. I don't like my character all of a sudden because he was angry at sacrilege. Seriously? He smiles dryly at you, but his eyes hold a warning. You take a deep breath and take a moment to center your mind. Your argument with the ignorant wizard is a waste of your breath. You nod towards the line of wagons. There are impressive works. I've never seen their like. The dwarfs glance around at the caravan, hooks his thumb on his belt. The master commanded me to devise a solution to carry your cargo. As the master commands, I obey. He says as he bows low, his mechanical hip joint creaking with motion. Russell acknowledges his bow with a slight nod, and then motions for you to follow. Come, Ranger, I'll show you our precious cargo. My name is Arash Azar, a second son of the noble house of Azar. You say, Russell Rassel raves at you dismissively. Not in this caravan. As I said, we all have roles to play. You will address me as master, and I will be calling you whatever I choose. Despite yourself, you smile. This man's arrogance is almost amusing. Two wagons sit at the center of the semicircle, hitched together end to end by systems of forged iron locks. Both appear to be. I'm actually not mad at him at all. The hooded figure. I'm not mad at him at all. I didn't take any offense when he said this and that. And even his arrogance is, it's not amusing. It's just there. Like, it's understandable. Like, if you have achieved some shit and there's an order to follow, you're not gonna bicker about with like every person that shows up just because they don't like the way you do things. It's understandable. It's understandable. I personally don't mind it at all. I mean, he can be a little bit more courteous with it, I suppose, but I certainly don't have a problem with his arrogance. He is entitled to that in this instant, in the way he's using at the moment, at least. We might find out that he has a lot of other shit that he does that we are not appreciative of.